welcome to 2 News at 7:34 p.m. My name is Jake Simon, and I will be talking about the Peloponnesian War that changed the way empires and city-states fight to this day. The Peloponnesian War began because the Athenians grew richer than the other empires, and the other city-states began to feel threatened. As we all know, when an empire or a city-state feels threatened, they feel the need to fight back or defend themselves, to the extent that leads into a major war, especially between the strong Athens and the Spartans. Because of this intense rivalry between the two empires, a war started to break out. The Spartans began to form their own league, which led to a conflict and a breakout in wars between the Athenians and the Spartans. People in Sparta and Athens think that this war will never end. Now I will let our interviewer, Lindsay Kendall, begin interview the well-known king of Athens named Pericles.
Thank you, Jake. Hi, my name is Lindsay Kendall Vegan, and I am the interviewer for 2 News. Today I will be interviewing a very special person named Pericles. Pericles is the king and general for Athens. Pericles rebuilt their Athenian city after the Persian Wars. Under Pericles' rule, the Parthenon was also built. Achievements were made in art and learning, and the Athenians built a strong wall around the city to protect them from another Persian attack. Pericles also tried to unite the Greek city-states into an organization of defense. This started the Delian League. He felt that a city-state needed a new kind of government to conquer the trading in the Mediterranean Sea. The Delian League became very strong. The city-states became very rich because of the ruling of the Mediterranean Sea. The other city-states who weren't a part of the Delian League started to feel threatened by it. It is very nice to meet you. My first question for you is why and how did you start the Delian League?
Well, you see, I wanted to rule the trading chaos that was happening on the southern Greece and the rest of the Mediterranean Sea. This plan worked because not only did I get to own the trading section in southern Greece, our city is getting richer and stronger just because of this one amazing plan to rule the trading in the seas. I began to create the Delian League when I gained most of my power after we defeated the Persians. In the Persian War, with all my power, I determined to make a better organization of defense before the Persians attacked again. Even though the Persians did not come back, our city-states were still more prepared from the other attacks led by the Peloponnesian League.
Oh, and what made the city-states in the Delian League start to argue?
Well, I think they're arguing because they want to compete with us. The Delian League is a very rich league that controls the amount of trading in the Mediterranean Sea. So the other city-states that were not allowed to join felt threatened, and they started to unite with the other city-states.
In your opinion, what about the Delian League makes the other city-states that aren't a part of it fearful of it?
Well, right now, the other city-states are feared of how much power the Delian League is gaining. They are also feared of how much trading the Delian League is doing in the seas because we keep getting richer and richer.
Thank you for answering these questions, Pericles. I hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Lindsay. Now we'll go back to Lindsay as she interviews a second person. This person is the Spartan king, Archimedes, who is very well known. Lindsay, take it away.
Archimedes' strategy was to invade the land surrounding Athens. Well, this invasion deprived Athens of the productive land around their city. Athens itself was able to maintain access to the sea and did not suffer much. Many of the citizens of Attica abandoned their farms and moved inside the long walls which connected Athens, its ports of Piraeus. Because the Spartans now destroyed the land around Athens, they were able to attack on all sides and winning the victory at Naupactus. Let's get into the interviewing. Hello. My first question for you is how did you think of the strategy that helped you invade the Athenians?
Well, one of my citizens had informed me that the Athenians' great power, he had come up with a great plan. His plan was to destroy the land around the city and slowly gain their land to invade more easily. Right when he told me his plan, I got my soldiers ready and started to take advantage of his strategy.
And how is that working out for you?
So far, it's going pretty well. but it is taking a very long time to gain the land. Some say that it will take up to 10 years to bring them down, if they ever will go down.
Oh, I see. And what is your opinion about the Delian League?
As lots know, I am very frightened about the outcome of the Delian League. The Delian League is gaining more power and becoming very rich. I think that if they keep it up, they will rule the Mediterranean area. So I'm stopping them now, once and for all.
I asked Pericles the same question, and he had almost the same answer as you. So I'm wondering why the Delian League is becoming richer and gaining more power, but your Peloponnisian League isn't.
Well, the first thing is that the Athenians have started their league much before I ever have, and because of that, it is very hard to take them over because they're so well known.
Do you think that this tension between your two leagues is going to turn into something more? How do you think the war will affect your city-states?
Well, right now, there is a war happening between us, and we are fighting for first places in the league. This is affecting our city-state because we will get a little weaker as time goes on from the battle. After this war is done, and we will hopefully win. We will gain our power and wealth and become the best emperor of all time.
Thank you so much for your time. Back to you, Jake.
Six-year break, the Athenians had two plagues. These two plagues combined killed over 1/3 of the Athenian population. The war has started to slow down now because of the Athenians are also slowly losing their control of their sea empire. The sea empire was the main way the Athenians traded. The Spartans are predicted to slowly keep winning as the Athenians keep becoming more weak. Even though the Spartans are winning, both of the empires are going to be weak after all this fighting.
Pericles, I'm very glad to meet you for the second time in 10 years. I've been wondering for a very long time about what you do when you are very upset, because I know how stressful it must be having to watch your Delian League weaken from the loss of trading plagues.
That is a good question. One time when I was very upset, I decided to sail the seas and ended up in Mytilene.
Question for you is, how do you think the Delian League has hurt you over the past decade?
Well, I think that the Delian...
Oh my gosh, folks, the great leader and general for Athens has just dropped dead in the middle of the interview.
He has the plague.
I've just got informed from the doctor that he has died from the plague. This is a horrible... Jake, do you have any thoughts on this?
I do not know what the plague is. The plague is an unpleasant illness. First, there will be burning sensation in the head, inflammation of the eyes, leading up to throat and tongue, and foul breath. Then, sneezing and hoarseness of the voice, set in a short time, the pain moving down to the chest. At this point, there was also severe coughing. Then the stomach was upset, and all kinds of bile was who vomited up in the great pain. The skin broke out in small blisters and ulcers. Patients feel as if they're burning up inside and suffered from thirst. The majority of them died from this fever on the 7th or 8th day. Because of this, 1/3 of the population died. The plague wiped out over 30,000 citizens, sailors, soldiers, including Hercules and his sons. Spartans have destroyed land all around Athens, and by 421 BC, they signed a truce. These wars sadly took the lives of many Athenians and Spartans. After that, Thebes and Athenians joined, as well as they persuaded the Athenians to attack Syracuse. But before the attack, he had to fled the Sparta and betrayed his city. His teacher was a disaster of the Athens. 175 ships were destroyed or had been captured, and 40,000 men had been killed. The Persians joined forces with the Spartans. They agreed to fund a fleet of ships, but in return, Sparta had to agree to recognize Persian claim. In 405 BC, the Spartans made a surprise attack on the Athenian navy at Agospotami. The Spartans had won. They captured about 170 Athenian ships and executed around 4,000 prisoners. They as well led to Athens itself, and without a fleet of ships, the city was unable to import food or transport. Sadly, that Athens had finally starved into surrender in 404 BC. Thank you for watching 2 News, and see you soon.